Have you ever felt a profound, almost primal ache in your chest when someone you care for distances themselves physically or emotionally? It's not just the discomfort of absence. It's a deeper, more unsettling resonance, a fear that perhaps your very worth is now hanging in the balance. This pervasive sensation, often mislabeled as simple heartache or longing, is in truth the echo of an ancient hidden wound, the wound of abandonment. It's a silent, gnawing anxiety that infiltrates our most intimate connections, making us question our value, our lovability, and ultimately, our very existence outside of another's gaze. Many of us navigate the labyrinth of modern relationships, believing that the remedy for this wound lies in securing another's unwavering presence, in being chosen, in finally achieving that elusive state of being enough for someone else. We exhaust ourselves in a relentless pursuit of external validation, attempting to mold ourselves into the perfect partner, interesting, calm, independent, only to find ourselves, paradoxically, feeling more like an option than a cherished choice. This relentless cycle of hope and disappointment, the gnawing emptiness when silence descends, the visceral panic that urges us to accept less than we deserve. These are not mere coincidences or unfortunate turns of fate. They are deeply ingrained patterns, often stemming from childhood experiences or even karmic imprints, which lead us to repeatedly engage with individuals who, intentionally or unintentionally, reactivate this fundamental fear of abandonment. We become adept at falling for the potential of a person, projecting our deepest desires and unfulfilled needs onto them, only to confront the stark reality that we are loving a phantom, a figment of our own hopeful imagination, rather than the true individual standing before us. This disillusionment, this quiet sense of losing one's own identity in the ceaseless effort to contort oneself to fit into another's world, is a pain that runs far deeper than superficial relationship advice can ever touch. Traditional self-help offers platitudes that, while well-intentioned, often fall short of true transformation. Phrases like, "You need to love yourself more," or "He doesn't deserve you," resonate for a fleeting moment, but fail to address the intricate web of attachment that binds us to these patterns. The core issue isn't a lack of self-love in the conventional sense, but rather a profound misidentification, a spiritual amnesia, where we mistake the fleeting sensations of our mind and emotions for the eternal sovereign self. The challenge isn't simply to let go, but to understand what exactly needs to be let go of, and who is doing the letting go. It's not about being strong or independent in a superficial way. It's about activating an unshakable, self-centered, centered in the real self, inner core that remains untouched by the external flux of human relationships. Today we embark on a journey that transcends the superficial counsel and dives into the profound wisdom of Bhakti Yoga, interwoven with the disciplined mastery of Raja Yoga. This isn't about manipulation or tactics to make him come back. This is about spiritual alchemy, about transmuting the raw pain of abandonment into an unwavering inner sovereignty. We will explore how the principles of Bhakti, unconditional devotion, not to a person, but to the highest truth within and without, can serve as a powerful antidote to the fear of being left behind. We will uncover 5 profound insights, 5 Bhakti secrets that will guide you from the tumultuous shores of emotional dependence to the tranquil harbor of your own self. This is an invitation to understand the true nature of attachment as a fluctuation of the mind, vritti, and to learn how to observe and ultimately master these mental habits through the disciplined will of your sovereign self. The pain you carry, the cycles you repeat, the desperate longing for connection, these are not weaknesses. They are, in fact, powerful spiritual invitations, whispers from your own soul, urging you to turn inward, to reclaim your inherent completeness. This path is for the introspective woman, the one who has grown weary of surface-level answers and yearns for a deeper understanding of love, connection, and her place in the spiritual tapestry of existence. You are not broken. You are on the precipice of a profound awakening, where the external silence or distance of another becomes the very catalyst for you to finally hear the sacred resonant voice of your own inner you. Let us begin this journey of lucidity, of power, and of unconditional love for the self, which is the true source of all lasting connection. What if the very act of feeling abandoned is, in truth, an opportunity for your soul to claim its eternal, self-sufficient nature? The relentless pursuit of external validation, the constant yearning for another's presence to fill a perceived void within, is one of the most subtle yet potent forms of self-abandonment. This is the first Bhakti secret to uncover, the illusion that fulfillment resides outside the self, and that any perceived abandonment is merely a mirror reflecting where we, ourselves, are abandoning our own inherent completeness. Many women find themselves trapped in this intricate web, feeling an acute sense of emptiness when a partner is absent or emotionally distant. This emptiness triggers a primal fear, leading them to believe that their worth is intrinsically linked to the actions, validation, or even the mere presence of another. This is the root of the addiction to a projection, where we fall in love not with the actual person, but with a potential, a fantasy, or an idealized version of them that exists solely within our own minds. In the philosophy of Raja Yoga, the self-Atman is inherently complete, whole, and blissful, dwelling in a state of profound peace, regardless of external circumstances. The suffering associated with abandonment arises not from the actual departure or distance of another, but from the mind's identification with the non-self, the fleeting emotions, the desires, the fears, and the external objects of attachment. When we identify with the non-self, we relinquish our sovereignty, allowing our inner peace to be dictated by external factors. The pain of abandonment is therefore not a flaw in us, but a symptom of the mind's tendency to create attachments and then suffer when those attachments are threatened or broken. It's a deep spiritual amnesia, forgetting that our true nature is unbound and eternal. Here lies a profound counterintuitive revelation. The person who appears to abandon you is not actually causing your suffering. They are merely serving as an unwilling mirror, reflecting back to you the ways in which you are abandoning your own self. Their physical or emotional distance becomes a powerful catalyst, urging you to recognize the places within where you have neglected your own needs, ignored your own intuition, or outsourced your sense of worth to another. When he withdraws, the mind, conditioned by centuries of external seeking, immediately rushes to fill the void, to chase, to plead, to understand. But the wise woman, the practitioner of Raja Yoga, recognizes this external silence as a profound invitation, an unexpected, divinely orchestrated retreat for her sovereign self. Consider this practical application. The next time you feel the sting of his silence or distance, instead of spiraling into anxiety or chasing his attention, choose consciously to use that space as a sacred inner retreat. This is not about playing games or feigning indifference. It is an authentic act of sovereignty. A simple Raja Yoga exercise for this is to observe the mind's craving for external validation without acting on it. When the urge to text, to call, to fix the situation arises, simply sit with it. Acknowledge the feeling without judgment. Ah, here is the mind's desire for validation. Here is the fear of being forgotten. Then gently yet firmly, bring your awareness back to your own breath, to your own center. Remind yourself, My peace does not depend on his response. My worth is inherent. This act of conscious observation and redirection of the will is a powerful assertion of your inner mastery. The language of Bhakti, though often associated with devotion to a divine form, is fundamentally about directing love and energy towards truth. In this context, it is about directing your purest devotion to your own highest truth, your own self. It is about understanding that the love you seek from another is merely a reflection of the boundless love that already resides within you. When you cease to abandon yourself by constantly seeking external validation, by neglecting your inner voice, by allowing another's actions to define your emotional state, you naturally become a magnet for authentic connection. The silence of another, when observed through the lens of Raja Yoga and embraced with the devotion of Bhakti, transforms from a source of torment into a profound opportunity for self-reunion. It is in this turning inward, this sacred practice of self-devotion, that the hidden wound of abandonment begins to truly heal, not through a forced closure, but through a conscious reclamation of your own, inviolable sovereign self. What if his momentary absence is the exact space you need to finally reclaim your full presence? The frustrating and often heart-wrenching experience of repeatedly attracting similar relationship dynamics, the cycle of hope blossoming only to wither into disappointment, is not merely a string of bad luck. This is the second Bhakti secret, an intricate dance of karma, where deeply ingrained patterns, often subconscious, manifest as recurring challenges designed to guide us toward a higher spiritual resolution. Many women find themselves agonizing over this phenomenon, asking themselves, why do I always attract emotionally unavailable partners? Or, why do my relationships always end this way? This pattern of repetition can feel like a curse, leaving one exhausted and questioning their fundamental ability to form a healthy, lasting bond. This isn't a judgment. It's an invitation to perceive the deeper purpose behind these seemingly unfortunate events. In Vedic philosophy, karma is not merely punishment or reward, but a sophisticated system of cause and effect, where every thought, word, and action creates impressions, samskaras, in our consciousness. These impressions then shape our future experiences, including the types of relationships we attract. When we find ourselves in a repetitive cycle of abandonment, it signifies that there is an unresolved karmic pattern, a lesson waiting to be learned, an internal wound seeking purification. Our relationships, therefore, are not random encounters but precise, mirrors reflecting these inner impressions, providing the perfect context for us to confront and transcend them. Parallel to this is the concept of dharma, our soul's unique purpose and inherent spiritual duty. Part of our dharma is to recognize and embody our intrinsic worth, to act in alignment with our highest truth, rather than being driven by unconscious karmic compulsions. Bhakti, as a path of devotional service, purifies these karmic patterns by redirecting our actions and intentions towards a higher transcendental goal, allowing us to act not out of desire for personal gain, but as an offering of love. Herein lies a profound and liberating truth, a counterintuitive revelation. This repetitive cycle of abandonment is not a cosmic punishment. It is a sacred invitation from the universe, orchestrated by your own karma, for you to master your inner landscape and finally break free. Each repetitive scenario serves as a precise opportunity to identify the core wound, perhaps a deep-seated fear of not being enough, or a subconscious belief that love must be earned through suffering, and to consciously choose a new, dharma-aligned response. The repetition is merely the universe's persistent way of getting your attention, urging you to embody your inherent worth and step into your true power. It's a call to elevate your consciousness from simply reacting to external stimuli to consciously shaping your internal reality. A powerful practical application to break these karmic patterns involves a guided reflection coupled with an act of will. Take time to sit quietly and reflect on the recurring themes in your past relationships. Is it emotional unavailability? A pattern of feeling unseen? A consistent sense of being an option rather than a choice? Identify the core emotional wound that these patterns seem to trigger within you. Once identified, consciously choose a new response, not in relation to the external person, but in relation to your internal state. This is an exercise of the will, as taught in Raja Yoga. Instead of reacting with desperation or self-blame, ask yourself, what would my sovereign self do here? How would my dharma guide me? For example, if the pattern is chasing unavailability, your new dharma-aligned response might be to consciously redirect that energy from external pursuit to inner cultivation, spending time on your own passions, or engaging in a practice that deepens your connection to yourself. The archetype of Radha in Bhakti Yoga offers a profound teaching here. Radha's devotion to Krishna is absolute, yet it is a devotion rooted in complete self-possession, in a profound understanding of her own divine identity. She loves without losing herself. Her love is an overflowing emanation of her own being, not a desperate plea for recognition. This teaches us to love with full heart, but without losing our identity, without becoming consumed by the outcome or the other person's response. It's a love that is an offering, not a demand. By embracing this conscious devotion to your own inner truth and exercising your will to break free from old karmic imprints, you begin to rewrite your romantic destiny. You shift from being a passive participant in a repetitive drama to becoming the conscious author of your own empowered narrative. What if the very patterns you seek to escape are the precise lessons you need to fulfill your highest dharma? The gnawing anxiety of waiting for a message, the paralyzing fear that every silence signifies rejection, the relentless urge to control an outcome that is inherently beyond your grasp. These are the insidious byproducts of emotional dependence. This brings us to the third Bhakti secret, the profound power of conscious detachment and the ability to transmute the volatile energy of anxiety into a serene, powerful form of devotion. Many women feel utterly consumed by this internal turmoil, their peace held hostage by the unpredictable rhythms of another person's communication or presence. This constant state of anxious anticipation is not only draining but often leads to self-sabotage, pushing away the very connection they crave. From the perspective of Raja Yoga, this pervasive anxiety is a vivid manifestation of the mind's frustrations, or vrittis, the turbulent waves of thought and emotion that obscure the calm, clear essence of the self. When the mind is uncontrolled, it constantly creates scenarios of lack and fear, projecting these onto external circumstances and making them seem overwhelmingly real. The paradox is that the very need for an outcome, the desperate grip on a desired response, often creates a subtle energetic repulsion. This isn't about blaming the victim. It's about understanding a universal principle. Attachment to outcomes creates suffering. Bhakti, however, offers a liberating counter-approach through the principle of vairagya, or conscious detachment. This is not indifference or apathy, but a higher form of love, loving deeply, yet without demanding a specific result. As taught in the Bhagavad Gita, it is about performing your actions, your love, your presence, your communication, without being attached to the fruits of those actions. This detachment is not a passive surrender, but a powerful, deliberate act of will, a conscious choice to release control over the uncontrollable. Here is the profound, counterintuitive revelation. Your need for him, your anxiety over his silence, creates an energetic field that subtly pushes away the very connection you seek. True devotion, bhakti, when applied to human relationships, is an offering, a giving without expectation, rather than a demanding grasping. The less you need him to fulfill a void within you, the more profoundly you are yourself, whole, complete, and radiant. This state of unshakable inner contentment becomes a powerful magnet for authentic connection, one that is drawn to your fullness, not your lack. The desperate pursuit of external affirmation inadvertently diminishes your light, whereas a conscious turning inward amplifies it. A deeply transformative practical technique drawn from Raja Yoga is to transmute the energy of anxious anticipation into inner devotion. This is the secret of Raja Yoga for mastering waiting anxiety. When you feel the familiar surge of anxiety, the urge to check your phone, to craft the perfect follow-up message, to analyze every past interaction, pause. Acknowledge the anxiety, but do not identify with it. Instead, consciously redirect that powerful surge of energy inward. Instead of directing it outwards in a desperate plea for validation, direct it towards strengthening your connection with your own inner self, or towards a higher spiritual ideal. This is where bhakti truly shines. Here's a 3-step technique to use his silence as a retreat for your sovereign self. 1. Observe without judgment. When his silence feels heavy and your mind races with scenarios of abandonment, simply observe these thoughts and feelings. Say to yourself, I am observing the mind's fear of abandonment. This is a thought, not my reality. Do not fight or suppress it. Simply witness it as an external event to your true self. 2. Redirect the energy. Feel the physical sensation of anxiety in your body. Instead of letting it spread, gather that energy mentally. Now consciously direct it towards an affirmation of your own worth, or towards a silent mantra of devotion to your inner peace. You can silently repeat, I am complete, I am peace, my center is within. This is an act of alchemical transformation. 3. Rest in the self. Once the energy is redirected, gently rest your awareness in the space of your heart or in the stillness behind your thoughts. This is where your sovereign self resides. Let his silence become a sacred opportunity for you to deepen your connection to this unwavering inner core. You are using an external trigger for internal empowerment. This is not a trick to make him chase you. This is a profound spiritual practice that fundamentally shifts your internal state, liberating you from the tyranny of external outcomes. By mastering the anxiety of waiting and cultivating conscious detachment, you activate a deeper form of magnetism, one that attracts from a place of wholeness, not of need. This is how you transmute carencia, neediness, into an authentic power of attraction, rooted in your own unshakable sovereignty. What if his silence is not a void to be filled, but a sacred pause for your soul to finally breathe and remember its infinite source? We have journeyed together through the intricate landscape of the hidden wound of abandonment, unveiling how the profound wisdom of bhakti and the disciplined mastery of Raja Yoga offer not mere remedies, but a path to true emotional sovereignty. We began by acknowledging the deep, often unarticulated ache of feeling unseen, unheard, or left behind. A pain that transcends simple heartache and touches upon a fundamental fear of worthlessness. We recognized how the relentless pursuit of external validation, often masked as a desire for love, inadvertently leads us to abandon our most precious asset, our own sovereign self. The illusion that fulfillment lies outside of us is the first veil to be lifted, revealing that true completeness, peace, and love reside eternally within our own Atman, our true self. The apparent abandonment by another becomes a potent mirror, reflecting back to us the moments and ways in which we have unconsciously abandoned ourselves, outsourcing our sense of worth to fleeting external circumstances. Then, we delved into the powerful, often unseen forces of karma that orchestrate the repetitive patterns in our relationships, the cycles of hope and disappointment, the magnetism towards emotionally unavailable partners, the recurring narratives of perceived rejection. These are not random misfortunes. They are meticulously crafted lessons, divine invitations from the universe, designed to bring us face to face with unresolved karmic imprints and to call forth our deepest dharma, our soul's inherent purpose. Each repetition is an opportunity to break free, not by changing the other, but by consciously choosing a new, dharma-aligned response from a place of inner mastery and authentic worth. The wisdom of Radha's devotion, unwavering yet self-possessed, illuminates the path to loving without losing one's intrinsic identity, offering oneself as an overflowing fountain of love rather than a pleading recipient. Finally, we confronted the pervasive grip of anxiety, the mind's turbulent frustrations, vriddis, that turn moments of silence into sources of torment and provoke the desperate urge to control. We discovered the transformative power of conscious detachment, vairagya, not as indifference, but as a higher form of love that offers without demanding, acts without attachment to outcomes. This profound insight reveals that the less we need another to complete us, the more whole and magnetic we become. The energy of anxious anticipation can be alchemized into a potent force of inner devotion, redirecting our focus from external pursuit to internal cultivation. His silence, previously a trigger for panic, is transmuted into a sacred space for deep self-reunion, a moment for the sovereign self to anchor itself more firmly in its own boundless peace. This journey is not about finding techniques to manipulate outcomes or to get someone to love you. It is a profound process of spiritual alchemy, of reclaiming your innate power. Every challenge in a relationship, every moment of perceived abandonment, is a divinely appointed opportunity to strengthen your will, to deepen your connection to your sovereign self, and to purify the karmic patterns that have held you captive. Your relationships are not burdens, they are sacred fields for your evolution, mirrors reflecting the inner work that is calling you. The healing of the abandonment wound does not come from a new partner or a different outcome, but from a radical shift in consciousness, a realization that you are and always have been complete within yourself. The path of Bhakti, when interwoven with the self-mastery of Raja Yoga, is a path of profound liberation. It teaches you to love deeply without fear of loss, because your primary source of love and security is rooted within, in your eternal connection to the divine within yourself. It empowers you to navigate the complexities of human connection with lucidity, recognizing that your peace is not dependent on the capricious currents of another's will, but on the unwavering strength of your own. What if the emptiness you once felt in his absence was merely an echo, guiding you back to the infinite fullness that resides eternally within your own heart? In the grand tapestry of existence, our relationships are but threads woven by the cosmic loom of karma and dharma. The hidden wound of abandonment, though deeply personal, is also a universal human experience, a recurring motif that pushes us to seek ultimate solace not in fleeting external connections, but in the immutable sanctuary of our own true self. This journey from dependence to sovereignty is not a linear progression without challenges, but a continuous practice of remembrance, a constant reorientation of our awareness towards our inherent completeness. The lessons we have explored are not mere theoretical concepts. They are living, breathing principles designed to be embodied, transforming your internal landscape from one of scarcity and fear to one of abundance and unshakable peace. Consider the profound implications of recognizing your mind as an instrument of your will and your emotions as phenomena to be observed rather than masters to be obeyed. This distinction between the you, the sovereign self, and the no you, the transient mind, emotions, and body, is the cornerstone of Raja Yoga. When the pain of abandonment arises, it is the no you that registers the distress, the conditioned mind that relives past traumas. But your true you remains untouched, a silent, powerful observer. This understanding does not diminish the pain. It reframes it. The pain becomes a signal, a teacher, guiding you to recenter yourself in the stillness of your being. It is an event that passes through your experience, not your ultimate identity. Bhakti Yoga, in its highest expression, is the path of pure, unadulterated love and devotion directed towards the supreme truth, which is also present within your very core. This devotion cultivates a profound inner reservoir of contentment that no external person or circumstance can deplete. When your heart is full with this divine love, born from self-knowledge and spiritual connection, the desperate need for external validation simply dissolves. You begin to attract relationships that reflect your inner state of completeness, connections that are based on shared growth and conscious devotion, rather than mutual neediness or the desperate attempt to fill each other's voids. The goal is not to become aloof or uncaring in relationships, but to love with a higher form of consciousness, a love that is free from the bondage of expectation and fear of loss. This is the essence of true liberation. Your journey towards emotional sovereignty is the most profound act of self-love you can undertake. It is the greatest gift you can give not only to yourself but to any potential partner as you approach relationships from a place of wholeness rather than an unfulfilled yearning. May this understanding be a constant beacon, illuminating your path towards a life lived from the unshakable center of your own sovereign self. Remember always, your truest home is within, and your worth is inherent, eternal, and unbound by the actions of any other. The wisdom we've unveiled today offers a potent path for transformation, a way to truly heal the hidden wound of abandonment and cultivate an unshakable inner peace. This journey from emotional dependence to the sovereignty of your you is a profound undertaking, and it doesn't happen overnight. It requires conscious practice, unwavering introspection, and a commitment to integrating these ancient truths into your daily life. If these insights resonated deeply within you, if you are ready to move beyond superficial advice and embrace a path of genuine self-mastery and spiritual growth, then I invite you to become an active part of this growing community. First, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. By subscribing, you ensure you won't miss any future teachings that delve deeper into the intricate dynamics of relationships through the lens of Raja Yoga and Bhakti. Each video is designed to build upon the last, guiding you progressively towards greater lucidity and inner power. Next, please like this video if it provided you with clarity, validation, or a new perspective on your own experiences. Your likes help us understand what content resonates most with you, allowing us to continue creating resources that truly serve your journey. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, I invite you to share your reflections in the comments below. Which of these Bhakti secrets resonated most deeply with your personal experience? What are your thoughts on transmuting anxiety into inner devotion? Your insights and questions not only enrich our community, but also deepen your own understanding as you articulate your journey. Remember, this path is about becoming your own center of power, cultivating a wellspring of peace within that is independent of external circumstances. It's about remembering your inherent worth and living from that place of unshakable sovereignty. Join us in this sacred exploration. Your journey to emotional liberation begins within, fueled by your conscious will and guided by timeless wisdom.